we got a couple of more people coming in. I always have an extra backup show for the people just jumping in, so I'll keep it in as soon as Doshin is here. Oh, and Chris, New Zealand. Very, very good. Oh, Nanren. Very good. For Southeast Asian ambassador. Very good. Lovely. Happy Vesak, everybody. Thank you, Nanren, for the historical research. The consensus is that the article in Tricycle was a little misleading, and Nanren had it right. I've had several people say basically the same, that that article on the history of Vesak, the Buddha's birthday, was a little bit incomplete. Good to see you, Jason. You know, like many people working from home these days, I've gotten a little lazy, so you may notice that I've only dressed from the waist up today. And I'm gonna be very careful with the camera, so you don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm properly wearing pants. But one thing I have to apologize. We have a little joke in the house. I let my 9-year-old daughter trim my beard, but she decided only to trim the right part, and she's going to do the left part on Monday. So it's a little, I'll keep my head like this. Sergeshi, you're looking very 19th century. I love it. You got a really very, very good President Chester Arthur going there. Very good, lovely. And Doshin, I hope the learner down there. Danny, I hope you heard my wife has said that she's a potter. Your Japanese teacups have become the most popular in our house. Onka is joining us for a little while from Mission Control in Australia. Chris is right over the water there, very close by, just a hop, skip, and a jump. Let's see, everyone else is here, and Hokin, contingent, lovely. Well, today is our first tea party, and not what are we calling it now? Tea house. We have to think of a name for it. But we're having tea or other beverage of your choice afterwards. So if you can, please stick around for 15 or 20 minutes and join us. It's going to be very, very informal. It's just tea, you know, not no big rituals or anything like that. We're just going to a simple gasho and enjoy your tea. It's going to be like that. And then we'll just chat for a while. Okay, is everybody ready to go? Give me a thumbs up if everyone's ready. Very, very good. Well, if you've been here before, you know what to do. And if it's your first time, just follow along. Let's go. See, I got pants, really. Okay.
The heart of the perfection of great wisdom. Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, awakened one of compassion in Prajna Paramita, the deep practice of perfect wisdom, perceive the emptiness of all five conditions and was free of suffering. Ushari Putra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form, form is precisely emptiness, emptiness precisely form, sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are also like this. Ushari Putra, all things are expressions of emptiness, not born, not destroyed, not seen, not pure, neither waxing nor waning. Thus emptiness is not form, not sensation nor perception, not formation nor consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, nor object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, no end to ignorance, no old age and death, no cessation of old age and death, no suffering, nor cause or end to suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no gain, no gain. Thus bodhisattvas live this prajna paramita with no hindrance therefore no fear, far beyond all delusion. Nirvana is already here. All past, present, and future Buddhas live this prajna paramita and realize supreme and complete enlightenment. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the sacred mantra, the luminous mantra, the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra by which all suffering is clear. This is no other than truth. Therefore set forth the prajna paramita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate, Gate, Para Gate, Para Samgate, Bodhi Sowaka. Hanya Shinyo. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, reality existing right here now. In reciting the heart of the perfection of great wisdom sutra, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha honored one, the historical Buddha and teacher, and to those ancestral teachers, Heihei Dogen honored one, Soji Keizan honored one, all successive honored ones up until Zuigaku Renpo honored one, and Gudo Wafu honored one, and to all other honored ones throughout history, male and female honored ones whose names have been forgotten or left unsaid. We also dedicate these efforts to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to all awakened ones and teachers in all places and times. We especially seek tranquility and well-being for all creatures, now suffering or ill in health. May they be serene through all their ills. May their lives be at peace and wisdom pervade the darkness of ignorance. We dedicate our hopes and aspirations to all victims of war and violence and natural events, to the injured and to all families touched by these tragedies, to the healing of hatred in all countries and among all peoples, to the wisdom and compassion of our world leaders, to the peace of the world and harmony of all beings. Thus let the harmful effects of words, thoughts, and actions be dispelled, and compassion bloom in perpetual spring. May we all realize and live the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. All Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha Prajna Paramita.
Zazen? we will have Zazen and a little talk. Oops, 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 all tangled. Can everyone hear all right? So today, after Zazen, we're going to have a little friendly tea time. Actually, it's something that we've been doing here in Scuba for the people who come to the Zendo here. We've been doing it for many years. Danny, who's here today, and Yakshim, all the people many years now have come and had tea for a few minutes after Zazen. And I don't know why we haven't included the folks at home so much, but everybody seems to skedaddle to just dash off after Zazen. So we just had it here, but now we're going to try to include everyone. And it's actually a very old tradition of drinking tea in Zen. In the monastery, there's a formal way to drink tea. I put up a photo where everyone lines up in their order of seniority with the big roshi at the head, and they pour and they bow and they chant something and they sit in very, straight seiza, Japanese seiza, no benches there, just right on their heels, and they drink tea very silently. But then there's also the time that, being a monk is, you got your off hours, you hang out in the back, someone brings out a deck of cards or a comic book, a manga, and sit around with your buddies eating peanuts and drinking tea, or hopefully that's all it is. And I've been to many Zazenkai here where people drink tea. Now today you don't have to drink tea. I'm going to have coffee, and you can even have Coca-Cola or lemonade, or for those of you, a lot of you are just getting ready for bed, so warm milk, whatever you want is fine. We're not recommending alcohol, though. I got to tell you the story. I remember many years ago, I went to a Zazen group here in Japan, and we sat Zazen, and then afterwards, it was mostly a bunch of old guys and the priest, and we went to a back room of the temple where he had a karaoke bar set up. And he pulled out. We all sat there singing karaoke and drinking beer after Zazen. That might be shocking to some people, but tells you something about Japanese Zen. It's very earthy. So, but no karaoke and no beer today. to go back to Bodhidharma. And the old story goes that he was sitting so intently that his eyelids fell off and became tea leaves. And some people say he cut them off, but I don't like that story so much. So we'll just say they fell off and fell to the ground. He was sitting zazen so intently, and the tea and his eyelids became tea leaves. Well, I've spoken to several geneticists, and they're pretty sure that biologically that's not the actual origin of tea leaves. Doshin, our biologist, will confirm that with us later, but I'm pretty sure that's a made-up story. But the fact is that the Zen folks and tea have had a long connection for many, many centuries. Many centuries. One of the reasons is it's, one of the few vices that we're actually allowed to have. I don't think there's a precept against tea. Of course, don't drink too much. Not only because it's a precept, but there is no precept about it, but just you don't want to just be up all night unless you have to be. And sometimes the monks really had to be. You see the schedule for some of those sessions, they get like 2 hours of sleep and they're back, they're sitting and go to bed for a couple hours, get up again. The tea was flowing, I guarantee you. They're in the monastery. And most of the Zen groups I know in America and Europe, and coffee, it's fine. It's actually good for you. It's one of the few vices. I'm at my age, getting to be 60 this year. One of the few things my doctor still says is good for me that is actually kind of a vice. It's an antioxidant, they say, tea and coffee. That's good, green tea. So that makes me very glad. Zen, we talk about the ox herding pictures, but it's an antioxidant. But you got my joke? Okay. So we have a long relationship with tea, and a couple of other things, tea stories. It's said that the Zen monks brought tea to Japan, or the Buddhist monks when they came. And I think there's some truth to it. And they've always been connected to the tea ceremony, which is also very formal. I think many of you know Danny, who's here with us today. She's been a student of tea in Japan now for several years. She's also a student of pottery and makes teacups. And she's also a kimono champion. So she puts on her kimono and her teacup and she makes tea. And the tea ceremony is very, very lovely because it's a formal dance. It's like classical ballet. Every move of the hand, every turn, every way you pour the water is all steps of a well choreographed dance. And what happens with any dance or any ceremony like that is you pour yourself into it and it becomes part of the body's memory. And soon you can lose yourself in the dance of it all. You don't have to think about it. You just go through the ritual. It's beautiful. Now, we're not going to do that today. We're just going to sit around like a bunch of guys and eat peanuts and drink tea. Okay. So I don't want you to think there's the most ritual we'll have is I'll encourage everyone to give a little gasho before we start drinking. That's about it. We're just going to sit around for 10, 20 minutes and talk for a while. But a couple other things about tea is, the story of the professor, and he came to see the Zen master, and the philosophy professor was explaining on and on and on about the philosophy of Zen, and the tea master just let his teacup overflow, that story, and said, your mind is overflowing like this teacup. But there's something about tea in the teacup that's really like Shikantaza Zazen, and I'll tell you that. Some people say that the point of Zazen is to empty the mind of thoughts and just be empty, like an empty teacup. The tea in it obscures the teacup. And what we need to do is empty the mind of all thoughts and emotions, and then we realize the empty teacup, and that is truth. But Master Dogen was a little different, He said, sometimes we can't see the teacup because we only see the tea. This is true. But you know that in Shikantaza, we learn that whether the teacup has tea in it, or the teacup does not have tea in it, it's still the same empty vessel. And our mind of emptiness is still there with thoughts or no thoughts. And we learned this when sitting. So today, when sitting, if thoughts come, it's just tea in the teacup, and the cup is still there, you see. The wisdom, the universe is still there. Okay, before we stop today, I'll leave you with one last thought. And this is about as wow wooey and maybe new agey as I'm going to get, old skeptical Jundo. But I'm pretty convinced of one thing. Oh, just remembered one more thing to say. But I'm pretty convinced of one thing, and that's that, we are the universe, and your eyes are the universe, your hands are the universe, your tongue is the universe, as much as the stars or the moon or the flowers. It's all the universe doing its thing, and I'm convinced that we're going to realize more and more that when you pick up a teacup, and by the way, the teacup is the universe too. It's made of the same stuff as the stars. And when you savor the tea or your Coca-Cola or your milk or whatever you're having today, which is also the universe made of the same stuff of the stars, we're going to realize more and more that it's the universe holding itself and tasting itself. And you are a vessel for the universe to taste and experience some way. We're going to learn this more and more. I'm convinced. It just seems too obvious to me that in some way we're, how to say, experience sensors for the universe. And when we think, it's the universe thinking. And when we taste, it's the universe tasting. Okay, that's enough of that today. One last thing I'll leave you with is we also believe that inside the teacup is the whole universe. And that's another thing we try to get our heads around while we're sitting Zazen. Really, we think that the universe is sitting on a table, which the table is in your room, and the room is on the earth. It's like that tree, that song, the tree in the hole of the ground, the green grass grew all around. You know that song? I sing it to my daughter all the time. And we think the planet where the table is sitting is in the universe. Okay, no. Zen people, we actually think that the table and the room and you and the whole planet and the stars and the entire universe and all time are inside the teacup. Let's sit. We will now recite the verse of atonement and the 4 vows. Dustin, looks like you're still sitting. We're getting ready to chant. Arigato gozaimasu. Just had a delivery. You know how that is. All right.
All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable.
I got to get my timing right. I always go up. You guys are coming down. I got to work. It's hard to do on the Zoom. I got to get my timing right here. Okay, guys. Like I said, we're going to have like a very informal tea. If anybody can stick around, it's just for a while. In the meantime, we're going to have a hello, hello, where we all put our microphones on. Everybody put your microphone on and basically say hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Oh,
Hello.
Nice to meet
Okay.
you.
Okay, that's it. And I guess it's tea time. Now, Segashi, can we turn the recording off for this part now? This is, I don't want to put this up on YouTube. Okay, so this is all recording. You can tell everything. You can talk about your sex life. No, I'm just kidding. Anything you want to. I'm going to find a place to sit here. Let's see. I got to get my right here.